Good morning. This is Elder G. God can woke us up one more time. God can start us on our way. God can close us in our right mind. And I hope and pray that all our limbs are working together. Monday morning, August 10th, 2026. This is what happened on January 6th. That President Trump say it was a day of peace. It was the day of love. Trump do not consider January 6th to be an insurrection or anything like that. It just was all about love. It was all about peace. It was just all about joy. On January 6th, Ashley Babbitt died inside of the Capitol building trying to get into the Senate chamber. They took battering ramps and they kept on ramming the door and ramming the door, and they finally broke the glass in the door. And Ashley Babbitt was attempting to climb through the broken window, and the Secret Service shot her and killed her. The Secret Service man, he did the right thing. He protected the House of Representatives and the United States people. He did his job. He was a hero on that day. The rioters beat with flag poles, with flags on them, baseball bat, iron pipes. They beat the police. One of the police went home and died from his beating. I think like 3 police committed suicide because they were defending the Constitution, and the very people that's waving those American flags and Donald Trump banners is the same one that tried to destroy the Constitution. They flying those flags talking about they protecting the Constitution. All they doing is protecting prejudiced white folks. They did millions of dollars of damage to the Capitol. And that no good President Trump is the one that called them there. He paid for their hotel and paid for their fare to get there. And he told them when they get there, they may have to take back their country. Because this day is going to be wild. And wild it was. Over 1,500 people was convicted by a jury of their peers. And all these lying-ass prejudiced Americans talking about they believe in the Constitution and they believe in God. They don't believe in no God when it comes to Trump. They don't believe in no God when it comes to the Constitution. These people are liars to the core, and they are very dangerous to black people and brown people and to women. They'll sit there and lie when you looking at the video. I saw the whole thing before it even started from beginning to end. And you gotta let the president and these lying ass president people tell her that we didn't hear what we heard. And we didn't see what we saw. We don't believe you. We don't trust you. And we will never trust MAGA again. Never. It's a sad day in America that people claiming that they believe in the law, except when it comes to prejudiced white folks. They beat out police officers. They killed one. And the other one felt so disappointed in America that they took their own life. And you're going to still run around here and lie and try to tell us that you believe in the Constitution. You beating a police officer with the American flag on it. You beating the police officer with the pole that's holding the flag that you claim that you love. The biggest lie ever told. I would never be able to come on this broadcast if you wasn't such a big liar. If you wasn't such against God, I would never be able to come on here and make a slanderous statement like that. I got the video right there. There is no doubt what you did. Way beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm an eyewitness. And you're going to tell me I'm crazy and I just need to shut up and Trump is such a great man for black and brown people and women. You know that that's a lie. And you know we're going to fight for it. We're going to fight for our freedom to speak. We're going to fight for the freedom of the press. We're going to fight for our religion. And we're going to fight for the right to bear arms and to petition our government and assemble and gather wherever we want to gather where it's legal. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in war. I love God and I accept Christ as my own personal Savior. The Bible tells me that I can obey the law of the land as long as the law of the land obey God. Our federal government is not obeying God right now. They not obeying the Constitution right now. And they not obeying the law of the land. They want to pick and choose whoever they want to get a pass. The 77 million people, they knew that President Trump had already did misconduct in his first term because he was impeached twice. But since the Republican was in charge of the Senate, they refused to convict that evil man and throw him out of office. I knew then where we was going to be today. Kamala Harris knew then what we know today. That the Republican Party in the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court that's controlled by MAGA is nothing but evil, and they are against God, and they are against Christ, and they are against the Constitution of the United States of America. Let me ask you this. How many white people did Trump take away their civil rights? How many white people that's here illegal have Donald Trump deported? I've been looking at the news. How many white people from Canada Europe have Donald Trump deported. Instead, he went to South Africa and got some of the most prejudiced people in the world that put Nelson Mandela in prison for 27 years for fighting for freedom. You're going to bring those prejudiced white people over here. But you ain't going to let no minority come. You're just going to let people that think just like you come over here. You think that we going to just sit there and let you do it? Why? Why, Elder G? Because we don't have to. Anytime you have the majority, that's what our republic says. If you have 100 people and 51 people agree with you, you are the Constitution. Let me say it again. If you have 100 people and you can convince 51 people or 50 people besides you, so if you can convince 50 more people to agree with you, you are the law. You make the rules. You make the regulations that everybody go by. President Trump, the vice president, the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, and the Supreme Court is against God. They are against the Constitution, so that makes them against God, and it makes them against Christ, and it makes them against the Constitution of the United States. Because God said everybody is created equal in God's eyes. The Bible, the Constitution says, no one, I do mean no one is above the law. Anybody that try to act above the law, the Constitution said that we must destroy them. Anybody, black, white, Asian, female, anybody that is against the Constitution, that trying to deny me of a right that they are enjoying, those people are our enemies. And the Bible said, in order to keep your republic, listen to me now, in order for us to keep our republic, no man, woman, or child could be above the law. So when you chose to put President Trump above the law, you lost me. Not only did you lose me, you lost God, you lost Christ, and you lost the respect of the Constitution. You no longer respect the Constitution, so I no longer respect you. I'm fighting for my freedom right now. I'm fighting for my rights, and I will use all means necessary. I do mean all means necessary to defend my freedom. And you should do the same thing. We are in a war right now against powers and principalities and high places. Satan is just running wild. Satan don't give nothing about no respect. Satan don't care nothing about no integrity. Satan don't care nothing about no God in Christ. Satan don't care nothing about no Constitution and about no laws. Satan is lifted up. President Trump is lifted up. The House of Representatives is lifted up. The United States Senate is lifted up. the Supreme Court is lifted up. They think that they better than anybody else. They think that they are above anybody else. But they getting ready to find out that that's a lie. You ain't better than nobody else. You don't know more than anybody else. Anybody that would take your money, your tax dollar. Remember, all the money that the federal government takes up, that is our money. They take up that money for us to build more roads, to build more bridges, to pay our military, to pay our politicians that's supposed to oversee and keep everything in order. President Trump is a fake. And he's a phony. And he's a fraud. And 77 million people, they need to go down to the pit of hell just like he do. 77 million people chose evil and hate over God and Christ in the Constitution. Thank you.